Seoul's river restoration managed to successfully provide habitat for insects, birds and fish and other wildlife in an already densely populated city, which can be considered a major accomplishment. The success of this project has attracted the attention of cities elsewhere, making it an inspiring model for other urban renewal efforts, especially expressway demolition projects and river restoration.
안녕하세요. 인사이트 코리아입니다. 최근 세계 유명 도시계획가들과 다큐멘터리 감독들이 모두 한국의 수도 서울을 주목하고 있다고 합니다. 그들의 눈에 들어온 것은 하나의 프로젝트였는데요. 해외 네티즌들 역시 전 세계가 이 프로젝트를 따라야 한다 라며 극찬하고 있어 모두의 궁금증을 자아내고 있습니다. 한국을 미래의 본보기로 삼아야 한다는 평가를 받는 이 프로젝트는 과연 무엇일까요? 지금부터 알아보겠습니다.
Seoul is the capital and largest city in South Korea. It's considered a megacity because it has a population of over 10 million people. Seoul also has the third largest metropolitan population amongst Asian cities and is the fifth largest in the world, with 26 million people. Seoul has been continuously settled for over 2,000 years, due to the fact the capital area occupies a plain in the Han River Valley. By the 1950s, the population was around 1 million people, which grew tenfold by the end of the century. During the 1960s and 70s, serious urban issues due to the extensive population inflow, such as traffic congestion, environmental pollution, formation of illegal settlement areas, and housing shortages. In just 50 years, Seoul has managed to turn this around by resolving various urban problems to grow and advance into a smart city where 10 million people live comfortably today, and it's considered one of the greenest megacities in the world, with 27.8% public parks and gardens. In this video, we are going to show you how this green mega project has increased biodiversity by more than 600%, making the Cheonggyecheong River restoration one of the most successful urban green mega projects in the world. So stick with us as we dive into today's video. The Cheonggyecheong is a small tributary of the Han River flowing from east to west that used to be a drain and flood protection for the old city centre. It was once a focus of everyday activities for many residents, who used it for washing and recreation. Cheonggyecheong means clear water stream, and the river was at the heart of city life, with traditional holiday celebrations regularly held around the central bridge. Amid Seoul's rapid urbanization in the 20th century and post-war economic growth driven by commercial industrial enterprises, Seoul's population began to boom, with increasing numbers of rural people migrating to urban areas. By the mid-1950s, the Cheonggyecheong was so polluted, city officials decided that the river should be paved over, completely hiding it from view. Between 1967 and 1976, a multi-lane elevated highway was constructed over the river, which was buried underneath concrete tunnels, hiding a former part of Seoul's cultural life force. In the 2 decades from 1975 to 1995, Seoul's population increased by 44%, from 6.8 million to 9.8 million residents. And the Cheonggyecheong Expressway Road, which ran through the heart of Seoul's Old Town, became one of the busiest places in Seoul City. It was the heart of 60,000 businesses and 200,000 shopkeepers, with a floating population of 1 million people visiting per day. And by the early 2000s, a daily average of 180,000 cars passed along the freeway every 24 hours, and the Cheonggi area recorded the highest levels of noise and congestion in the city. The sheer volume and the ever-increasing pressure on the expressway meant that by the 1990s, the whole system of concrete tunnels and roads were deteriorating. An engineering survey revealed structural weaknesses and indicated a need for a costly renovation project. After 40 years, the roads of the Cheonggyecheong Expressway could no longer take the strain of the megacity. Seoul city government was faced with a choice. They decided against reinvesting in congested traffic infrastructure. Instead, the city government opted to demolish the roads and restore the flow of the river in order to improve the environmental and aesthetic state of the downtown area. On January 1st, 2003, a 2-year restoration project to restore 5.8 kilometers of the Cheonggyecheong River began, which employed 700,000 skilled workers and cost nearly $1 billion. The river was re-exposed and made the focal point of a larger urban renewal effort to revive the ecology, culture and history of Seoul. During the construction, there were several projects involving local communities, such as tiles made by local school children. Traffic was rerouted and bridges were built across the river. Public parks and recreational spaces were also created. Sites of historical and cultural importance in the general vicinity were renovated. The project was completed 2 years later in 2005. Ever since, millions of visitors have flocked to the site, and the river has become an important attraction again, where art and music events are held. As a result, investment in the downtown area has increased dramatically, with new housing and developments and businesses opening up, which has created more job opportunities in the area. Moreover, the reduction in traffic has resulted in a significant improvement in air quality, as those in other parts of the city. And there has been a reduction in the urban heat island effect, with temperatures in the river corridor 3 to 4 degrees Celsius lower than areas only 400 meters away. Wind speeds are on average 50% higher than before the river was recovered. These are important benefits for climate adaptation, in addition to the increased resilience against flooding when a city has open watercourses. These improvements in environmental conditions have been accompanied by the return of several species of birds, fish and insects to the restored Cheonggi-cheon River. The increased overall biodiversity is said to be 639%, and these results have proven that by increasing urban green spaces in cities and by removing toxic highways, it is not only a benefit to the economy, but also greatly improves the health and well-being for those visiting the spaces and living around them. Seoul's river restoration managed to successfully provide habitat for insects, birds and fish and other wildlife in an already densely populated city, which can be considered a major accomplishment. The success of this project has attracted the attention of cities elsewhere, making it an inspiring model for other urban renewal efforts, especially expressway demolition projects.
전 세계 도시 환경과 미래 지속 가능성을 중점적으로 다루는 해외 유명 다큐멘터리 채널 리프 오브 라이프 필름즈. 과거 급속한 도시 발전에 따라 오염된 물로 여러 가지 위생 문제, 환경 수준 악화 등을 초래했던 청계천이 현재 어떻게 서울의 대표적인 명소가 됐는지에 대해 다뤘는데요. 해당 영상을 접한 해외 네티즌들은 환상적인 아이디어라면서 경이롭다는 반응을 쏟아내고 있습니다. 한국 역사는 물론 자연 생태계 중심으로 변화를 모색하는 앞으로의 세계사의 좋은 참고가 될 것이라 평하는 네티즌까지 나타났죠. 한국은 문화, 예술, 음악과 자연 등 다양한 아름다움이 너무 많습니다. 청계천 복원사업처럼 원래의 자원을 되살리려고 노력하는 모습이 특히 좋아요. 저것 보세요. 자연이 돌아오고 사람들은 그에 대한 혜택을 누리고 있잖아요. 이 영상은 많은 사람들이 우리가 자연에 더 가까이 다가가면서도 현대사회를 완전히 포기하지 않고 균형을 유지할 수 있는 방법을 보여주고 있어요. 더 나은 세상을 위한 영상 감사합니다. 오마이갓, 다 너무 예뻐요. 전 세계적으로 더 많은 도시에서 이 작업을 수행해야 합니다. 이뿐만 아니라 앞으로 미래를 이끌어갈 청소년들이 교육의 일환으로 이 영상을 꼭 시청해서 아름답고 건강하며 친환경적인 삶을 살 수 있도록 해야 한다고 말하는 네티즌도 있었죠. 서울은 세계의 표준을 세우고 바라건대 각국의 많은 도시들이 이것을 보고 경쟁하거나 더욱 발전할 수 있기를. 한국 훌륭합니다. 와, 현재의 대도시들 그리고 성장하는 모든 도시들에게 이 얼마나 멋진 스토리와 롤모델입니까? 한국의 긍정적인 사례는 다른 나라 시민들에게 무엇이 가능한지 보여줄 수 있는 본보기가 될 것입니다. 우리는 다른 사람들이 그러한 어려운 일을 기꺼이 맡는 모습을 볼 수 있기를 바랍니다. 그리고 딱 한국답다. 이것은 오직 애국심, 국가에 대한 헌신, 성실한 사람들이 있었기에 가능했다 라며 청계천 복원사업은 다른 누구도 아닌 한국 사람들이 있었기에 해낼 수 있었던 것이라고 말한 네티즌도 있었습니다. 이렇게 중요한 프로젝트를 맡아주신 서울 시민 여러분들께 감사드립니다. 녹색 도시 공간은 전 세계 도시에 필요합니다. 서울 시민들에게 이로운 강을 되살린 성과를 보고 눈물이 났어요. 서울에 가본 적 있는 사람으로서 여러분들께 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 제가 가본 곳 중 가장 아름다운 곳입니다. 2개월 동안 11번 방문했습니다. 그냥 너무 평화로워. 잘했어요 대한민국. 언젠가는 꼭 가보고 싶은 곳. 이처럼 청계천을 둘러싸고 펼쳐진 아름다운 서울의 모습에 반드시 한국을 방문할 것이라고 다짐하는 해외 네티즌들이 정말 많았는데요. 미래 사회의 기후변화와 환경 문제에 대한 중요성이 갈수록 대두되고 있는 요즘, 도심을 가로지르는 물과 주변에 녹음이 우거진 서식지를 보호하는 것이 얼마나 가치 있는 일인지 청계천을 통해 다시 한번 되새기게 되는 것 같습니다. 또한 성숙한 국민의식이 뒤따르지 않으면 유지가 힘들다는 것도 새삼 깨닫게 되는데요. 그렇지 않다면 공장은 폐수를 몰래 버리고 시민들은 쓰레기와 오염물질을 함부로 버릴 테니까요. 대한민국 국민들의 수준 높은 의식이 그러한 것들로부터 우리의 청계천을 보호하고 이와 같은 놀라운 성과들을 잘 유지할 수 있으리라 믿으며 지금까지 인사이트 코리아였습니다. 감사합니다.